Hello and welcome back to the Cracking FAANG YouTube channel. Today we're going to be solving Leetcode problem 315, count of smaller numbers after self. This is yet again another Google hard question, and I am pulling my hair out trying to solve these for you guys. So if you appreciate this sort of content, leave a like and a comment. It lets me know that my suffering is not in vain. Alright, given an integer array nums, return an integer array counts, where counts of I is the number of the smaller elements to the right of I. If we look at this basic example where we're given the array 5, 2, 6, 1, let's think about what our answer might be. So for 5, how many numbers are there to the right of it that are smaller? Obviously, it's going to be the 2 and the 1. So there are 2 elements that are smaller. For the 2, there's only the value 1, so we would put 1. For the 6, there's only 1, which is the 1. And then for 1, obviously there's nothing to the right of it, so we simply put 0 here. So you may be looking at this question and be like, wow, that was really easy. What's the fuss all about? Well, let me tell you that the way that you want to approach this question is actually very difficult. There's two kind of god tier solutions, which is to use a segment tree or a binary index tree, which is also called a Fenwick tree. Don't worry if you didn't know that. It just means that you're a human being and not some sort of robot. But we're not actually going to do that because, you know, we don't have 200 IQ here. We like human solutions that people can understand, that, you know, again, aren't robots or some sort of competitive programming fiends. So we're actually going to solve it using binary search. And we're going to achieve basically the same runtime complexity, except for you can actually understand the solution and you can actually code it as well. Because if you try to do the segment tree and the Fenwick tree, you're probably just going to walk out of the interview in tears because, yeah, the interviewer just crushed your dreams of working at Google. So yeah, let's now wipe all of this away and think about how we can actually solve this using binary search like I hinted at. Okay, so I told you that we want to use binary search, but let's actually figure out in an intuitive way the way we want to do that. So one thing that I want you to consider is a very basic example where we have an example array, and in this array it's going to be sorted, and there's also not going to be any duplicates. So if I gave you an index, could you tell me how many numbers are greater than it? Right? To the right of R2, it is however many indexes are left in the array, right? Are greater than 2, right? It makes sense because it's sorted. So everything to the right of it will be greater than it. And then we also know that however many items there are is the number that are greater, right? So for 1, there's obviously 3 elements to the right of it which are greater. And then for 2, there's 2 elements. And then, you know, for the last one, there's 1 element for the 3, right? This is essentially what we want to tap into for our solution. If we have a sorted array, then we can easily figure out how many elements are smaller, right? Because if I gave you this index, I could easily tell you that there's 2 based on just the index that we're at, because everything to the left of it must be smaller. So now you're thinking, okay, well, why don't I just sort the array? The problem with sorting the array, and it won't actually work because you'll lose the original index positions of your items. If you just sorted it, it would actually mix up the indexes, and then I couldn't tell you in the original array relative to that number how many were less there. So what we want to do is we want to basically have our result array. We want to have our result. So this is going to be res, and this is going to be an empty list. And then we're going to have what we're going to call a sorted array. So we're going to say sorted, and this is originally going to be empty. So what we're going to do here is we are going to go from right to left over our array. And what we're going to do is we're going to insert into the correct position each number we see. So what we want to do here is we want to insert our value, and we're going to insert, obviously, so let's see what sorted would look like after the first iteration, right? So sorted, obviously there's no elements in there, so we just insert it at the 0th index, right? So the index that we actually insert our value into the sorted is actually the number of elements which are actually less than us, right? So obviously there's no elements less than us when we only have 1 element. So therefore our result, we would add 0, right? And you'll notice that we're actually, since we're going from right to left, our answer is going to be backwards. So we'll need to flip it at the end, but that's not a big deal. And now what we're going to do is now we need to process the 6. So we're going to figure out where can we actually insert the 6 here such that it will be in the order. So either we could put it before the 1 or we could put it after the 1. Obviously, since we're maintaining a sorted order here, we want to put it after the 1. So 1, 6, right? And let's think about this. This got inserted at the first index, which means that there is one index to the left of us, which is actually smaller. So now we would add 1, because we inserted it at index 1, to our result, right? Then we move on to the next number, which is going to be 2, right? So where can we insert 2? Obviously, it can go before 1, it can go after 1, or it can go after 6. Obviously, we're maintaining a sorted array here, so it's going to be 1, 2, 6. And that was inserted at what? It was inserted at the first index again, right? So that means that there is one item that is smaller than our current value. Great. Now we process the 5, which is the last element for us to process, and we want to insert it. So where would it go? Obviously, it's going to go between 2 and 6. So this is going to be 1, 2, 5, 6. So where was this inserted? This was inserted at index 2, right? Which means that there are 2 elements to the left of us, aka smaller than us. So 2. And that is your final solution. And remember, this is backwards, so we need to actually just reverse it, and we'll get 2, 1, 1, 0, which, if you remember from our original drawing, is the actual answer here. So that's all we need to do. We have our result, and we have our sorted array. We're going to go from right to left and insert our element every time. Now, this is where the binary search actually comes in. Because our array is sorted, to figure out the insertion index, we can use a binary search, which is basically going to give us log time complexity. And we're going to do this for every n elements, right? So n log n, right? In the worst case, for us to actually do this for everything, right? So that's going to be the time complexity of actually inserting it. And that is why we do that. So we don't have to deal with some crazy segment tree, some binary index tree. We just need to do a binary search to figure out the index we want to insert it at. Now, let's think about the binary search again. So we're inserting at an index, but we need to be careful. What happens if there's a duplicate? Because in our original example, I purposely chose no duplicates because it's a little bit easier to explain. But what happens, say our array looks like 2, 5, 5, 6. Oh, sorry, 2, 5, 5, 2, 1, 2, 5, 6. And we want to insert a 5 into here. Well, technically, we could insert it like this, where we inserted it after the 5, but the correct one is actually to insert it at the second index, not the third index. And the reason for this is, remember that we use whatever index we inserted at as the number of values to the left of us that are actually greater. And if we insert it at this second one, then we'll actually include the 5 in here, which is incorrect because 5 is not less than our current value of 5. Remember, it's strictly less than, it's not less than or equal to. So when we do the binary search, we're essentially doing a bisect left. So we want to insert it as far left as possible. And this is absolutely critical because, like I said, if you insert it willy-nilly and it's not the most left, then your answer will be off because we use that insertion index as the actual number of numbers that are actually less than our current one. So if it's not the far left as possible, which is what will occur when you have two numbers that are the same in the array. Unfortunately, we do have to deal with duplicates, so we cannot guarantee that, wherever we insert it is correct unless we do a bisect left. And remember, bisect left will give you the leftmost insertion position for when you do your bisection. So we'll actually code this part up. I mean, you could use the Python built-in, but it's fine. It's not that complicated. I'll code it up for you guys just so you know how it works under the hood. But this is absolutely essential. If you don't use a bisect left, you'll get the wrong answer. So keep that in mind. Now let's go to the actual code editor and type this up. Really not that complex. Other than the binary search, the rest of it is super simple. So I'll see you in the editor. Let's type this up and get it submitted. We're in the code editor, and before we actually type this up, I realized that I made a small mistake in my explanation. Even though the logic is correct, the one thing that I overlooked is actually inserting into our sorted array is going to take big O of n time, which means that the total time complexity would actually be big O of n squared. if we were to use a standard array. Now, there is a way to get around this, and that is to actually use a data structure called a sorted list, which will actually just maintain our list for us in basically sorted order. And the way that it does this is it basically builds a tree behind the scenes and maintains the order, similar to how a heap will basically maintain a tree under the hood. This is essentially the same thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to say from sorted containers import sorted list, which is going to be that sorted list data structure. So we want to define it. So we're going to say sorted array or sorted list, whatever, is going to equal to sorted list, and it's just going to be an empty list. Now what we want to do is we want to, we have our result. So it's just going to be a, a list here. And then we want to go from right to left and basically do our logic here. So we're going to say for I in range len nums -1, -1, -1. That will go from right to left. We're going to say that our current number is nums of I. And we're going to say that the index that we want to insert it, remember, we're going to be doing a bisect left. Now, unfortunately, we need to actually use the built-in bisect left on the sorted containers class, because obviously it's a tree behind the scenes, and doing a regular bisect left wouldn't work because of the way the elements are actually arranged. What I will do is I will talk about how to do a standard bisect left to explain it to you guys, so hopefully you guys understand, although we're going to have to use the method defined on the actual class itself here, as using a regular one won't work. I tried it, unfortunately it's not, it doesn't work. So we're going to say sorted array. So to get the index, we're going to call bisect left and get the number. We'll call it with the number to get the index where we want to insert. Then we were going to say result dot append. We're going to append that index, and what we want to do then is we want to say sorted array dot add the number, which is basically going to insert it, and it's going to do this in log n time, which is the difference. If we were to do this with a regular array, unfortunately it would take n time, and since we're doing it for every element, that would be big O of n squared. And actually in that case, it's easier to just not even do any of this. It's just like for each number, just to look for the ones to the right of it. So unfortunately, we have to do this in order to bring the time complexity down. Otherwise, the simple naive solution is better, and we wouldn't actually need any extra space. So we insert the value, and then at the end, all we do is simply return the result. So I promised you guys I would show you how to do a bisect left. So let's define our function. We're not actually going to use it, but we're going to say def bisect left. And this takes a container and then the insert value, right? So what we want to do is we want to set it up as a standard binary search. So left equals 0, right equals the length of the container. And we use len container instead of len container -1 because we are moving the indexes down. And typically when you do that, you set it to len container. So we're going to say while left is actually less than right, we're going to say that mid equals to left plus right, divide by 2, and then we're going to say if container of mid is actually less than the insert value. Obviously our midpoint is too small, so we want to move our left up, right? So we're going to say left equals mid plus 1. Otherwise, we actually want to say that right equals mid. And the reason it's not mid -1 is because, remember, we're trying to move our pointers down as far as possible. And if we said right equals mid -1, right could actually be, or the current mid could actually be our best solution. And if we do mid -1, then we'll actually erase it. So we want to just return left at the end. So that is going to be how you implement a bisect left. I have a feeling that your interviewer may ask you to actually show them how bisect left is implemented if you choose to use this the class method. Unfortunately, we can't use this one. It just doesn't work on this class. It's not compatible. Hopefully they don't ask you how SortedList is implemented. If they do, GG, that's it. But yeah, I mean, the intuition is basically the same, right? We want to insert it. We want to find the index, add that to our solution, and then insert it at whatever that index was. So actually, result actually needs to be reversed here. Because remember that we insert it on the left and then we keep adding elements. We just need to flip it So let's just run this, make sure I haven't made any silly mistakes here. Just run this and sorted array. Oh, crap, I call this sorted list, right? Yeah, so sorted list, that is why we run these things. Okay, sorted list, run, and we're good to go. So let's submit this, hopefully it runs, and should be fine. Okay, cool, yeah, accepted. And we actually did quite well on the time complexity here, same with the space complexity. So what is the time and space complexity? So obviously we're going through all of the elements. So this part is going to be big O of n, and then to find the bisect left, that is going to cost log n time, because that's a binary search. Result.append, that happens in constant time, don't have to worry about it. And then to insert into a sorted list using this special data structure, which is really just a tree under the hood, is going to be log n. So our total time complexity is going to be n log n. Oops, let me write that at the bottom because that's usually where we put it. We're gonna say time is gonna be n log n. Space complexity, it's going to just be big O of n, because we basically need to have the result and the sorted list, which are both going to be of length, whatever the length of nums is. So that is how you solve this problem. Again, a little bit of a hack here using the sorted list. I mean, I think that this is probably the easiest solution to understand. I don't really think it's cheating, because I mean, this is a data structure that exists. You know, it makes sense that we could be able to use this, especially because we actually understand how the bisects work. I think intuition wise, we have it all down. If your interviewer wants to be an asshole and punish you for using sorted list, then like I said, GG, they were just that interviewer. They didn't want you to pass anyway. But I mean, if we kind of look at the official solutions here, like, you know, segment tree, come on, like who in their right mind is implementing this in an interview? Like, come on, this is ridiculous. Building a segment tree in an interview. I mean, we get the same time complexity and space complexity, and then a binary index tree, a Fenwick tree. Like, come on, like no human is implementing this. So if this is what they expect, honestly, like you don't want to work there anyway. So yeah, hopefully they don't ding you for using sorted list. I mean, Leetcode has definitely used this in their solutions before, so I think it's probably fine. I think if you are going to do this approach, one, know how bisect left works because you're using that API, so you should be able to code it on your own if they ask you how it works. And two, have like a general look at what sorted list is and how it's implemented as a tree below the scenes. Kind of, if you look at the documentation here, where is it? Where did it go? Yeah, they talk about how it's done in a tree. So yeah, just look at the sorted list source code so you don't get caught out. Where's the problem here? So yeah, that's the problem. Again, a little bit of a hack using this library here, but I mean, I think it's fair game. It's just a data structure. Like, you need it for the solution. It's much better than those ridiculous tree solutions. Anyway, I'm gonna stop blabbing because this video is probably like 25 minutes long. If you made it this far and you liked the video, then leave a like and a comment. Let me know that you made it to the end and that you're a big fan. Yeah, if you want to see more content like this, subscribe to the channel. If you want to join a Discord community where we talk about all things FAANG, I will leave a link for that in the description below. Otherwise, thank you so much for bearing with me, and I'll see you in the next one.